T-Pain. Let's go. Ever since I left you, I've been to hell and I'm back. Now my baby, I wanna give you all my body and soul. Now I want to give you the keys to all that I got. Girl, you're my star, you are my rainbow. Cause now I don't see rainbows everywhere I go. It never used to be so. Oh, now my heart is cold. Now it's a big cloud hovering over my soul. And I wanna shout, don't wanna be on mute no more. Ever since I left you, girl, it's like I fell off. Now I can't get back online since I logged off. Now I'm feeling all alone, I don't feel free no more. I'm a prisoner for you like I'm in handcuffs. Now I wonder what I was thinking when I took off. Now I realize that your lips and body so soft. Girl, I'm not too proud to beg, I will kneel and kiss your leg, cause I'm fed up plus. Ever since I left you, I've been to hell and I'm back. Now my baby, I wanna give you all my body and soul. In fact, I want to give you the keys to all that I got. Girl, you're my star, T-Pain, you are my rainbow.
Hey, you got away and I can't get you back. It's my fault, I can't lie about that. And I'm searching for you all over the sky. No matter rain or sunshine, I can't wait to make you mine again. And this time I won't let you out of my sight. I'll be looking to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back, and everywhere I go. I always think I see my rainbow, and you are never anywhere to be found. I'm not trying to stress you. I know I'm not the best dude. Without you, I'm a mess, boo.
Alright, a beautiful morning to you all out there. Thank God it's Friday and I'm so glad to be here again today. To all our Muslim brothers and sisters, I say Juma Mubarak to them. And to all the Christians that are fasting, keep up the good faith. The Lord is your strength. It's not as if I'm not fasting, but the Lord is our strength. You know, the pastor that was on my show last week said, if you're fasting, it doesn't mean you have to wear that look on your face to let everyone into you that you are fasting. All right, a beautiful morning to you again. I am Teresa Adeyemi, your host, always your host on Pitch Talk with Tessie. And remember, on Pitch Talk with Tessie, we say it the way it is. And again, I quickly want to say this: tomorrow there is going to be a endo walk tomorrow at Onikon Stadium. We need to be enlightened about what endo is. Like me, I've never heard that word before. But tomorrow there's going to be work where people will be enlightened, and after the walk there's going to be a carnival courtesy of CNC gladiators, of which are part of the gladiators. I'm a gladiator. Alright, here's on the pitch deck today. First, before I bring in my guest to you, we'll be talking about something different this morning, something we've never discussed before on the program. Alright, but before we go into that, let's go into the top 3 stories of the week. And last week, Sunday, I'll start with that. Last Sunday, that 10th of March, was a birthday for everybody, for everyone in the world, whereby 159 people lost their lives, yes, in that tragic plane crash. I think that, a Boeing 737 MAX 8. Yes, barely, the plane is just barely 4 months old. And it took off after taking off, just 6 minutes after takeoff. The pilot had to call and tell them something is happening, and they asked him to turn back, and the turning back was disastrous. It's so painful. You know, I imagine that last minute, the last moment that you were going to realize that you were dying. The last moments, the last minutes, I can't comprehend. It's so painful. No survival. No survival. And again, I want to quickly correct this. Most of the pictures circulating on social media, especially the air hostess, there's this picture circulating on social media where this air hostess were all seated, lined up, crossing their legs. It's fake. That is a fake picture. It's a fake picture you don't need. I used to say that not everything you see on social media you should believe. But that picture is a fake picture. And again, I want to use this opportunity to let everybody know that we should respect the dead. Stop saying what you don't know about them. Stop bringing out information that you don't know about the dead. If you're used to spreading rumors, at least respect the dead. I'm telling you, we have a Nigerian Canadian guy that's there, a lecturer, married with a daughter. It's a pity. We have a lot of people there. It's so sad. My heart bleeds. And as if that wasn't enough, the second story again, look at what happened in Lagos on Wednesday. Look at those children. You see, I wasn't at the site, but my colleague was there. And when she came back, she was telling me about it, even though we reported it in our station. It was so sad. You see children, if you're a mother, you will be able to relate with what I'm talking about. You see children bringing, even if you're not a mother, if you're human, it doesn't mean if you're a mother or you're not a mother. You see children being dragged out from that place. Some are dead, some are alive. Imagine the pains, imagine the trauma. Ever is going to be a trauma for some people for the rest of their lives, because you're telling your children telling you, bye bye mom, I'll see you in the afternoon, or when you come back you do this, and just a few hours you just get a call, or you just get the rumor, you just get the scream, the noise that the school where your kids are, it's down. Oh my word, so painful. It's very, very painful. Like, I have the story of this man to you that said his children were sent home, have been sent home for like 3, 4 or 5 days because they couldn't pay their school fees. And the day he decided to send them back to school to pay their fees, then look at what happened to him. It's so terrible. It's so terrible. I think we all need to pray. We all need to be prayerful. Actually, I belong to a group that you don't believe when you want to advise people, you tell them to pray. We need to find a solution to our problem. The owner of the school, okay, people are saying that 4-story building, 3-story building, 3-story building, and there's a penthouse on it. That's where the children are accommodated. That's where they are schooling. And they're saying after this, there's going to be a case. Where is the case? Where the owner of the school is dead. He was involved in the rubble. And the owner of the school is dead. So who are they going to make the case with? Everybody have to bear their cross. And there's this thing circulating on social media again that they need blood donor. It's true. I confirm that story. That's why I'm saying it. If I don't confirm it, I won't bring it on air to tell you. No one pitched up to say it the way it is. If you're a good Samaritan, you need to have enough blood. You can just check the address. I'm not going to call the address out, but you just go on social media. It's there. Red Cross. They said they need blood. They need blood people. They need blood donors. Yeah, they need blood donors. People that are good Samaritans, and you can donate blood for the kids. Go out there. Let's all go out there en masse and help those children. It's a really sad one. A very, very sad one. A lot is happening. That's why I keep saying it. Staying alive is not easy. If you're alive, no matter your condition, no matter what you're going through, you just have to be grateful. Forget about all those. At the end of the day, nobody is getting out of this world alive. No one is getting out alive. So why just take the life too seriously? Why not make people around you happy? Why the beef? Why the problem? I can go on and on, but let me just stop from there. But to all those who lost their children, and to all those who lost their lives, and I don't even know what to say. My heart bleeds. I just wish everybody that lost their lives, I wish them rest in peace. And again, now the third story of the week, Okorocha has been denied his return certificate. And he has a lot to say about that. He's got a lot to say about that. Governor Okorocha says INEC did not issue a certificate of return because there's a plot to cripple him politically. He accused the state resident electoral commissioner of acting out a cruel script. He also said he's waiting for the electoral commission to explain why it has refused to invite him to collect the certificate. We are watching. Everybody's watching. We are watching. We will know where this is going to lead to. So that is all I can take on top stories of the week. I just want you to know that I have this inspirational message for you, and after that my guest profile, then I'll be back with my guest on set. Stay tuned and I'll be back. Today on Pitch Talk is Waheed Alimi. Waheed Alimi is a motivational speaker, a financial advisory services. He has a BSc in Business Administration and MBA from the University of Lagos. He is a Fellow of UAN, Associate of the CITN, and Associate of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers. He is happily married with children. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
I have Mr. Waheed Alimi with me this morning, a speaker on financial and money matters. And that's what we'll be talking about today. That's why I said we're doing something different. We're not having politician in the house today. We're having a morning speaker. We're speaking money this morning, and I think that's the best way to just end the week so that you can know what to do in the coming week. What do you think, sir? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Tessie.
All right, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's nice being here.
It's good having you on the show. All right, sir. Yes, we'll be talking this morning about financial independence. And if I may ask that for people that don't really understand, what do you really think is financial independence?
Okay, thank you. Nice being with you on this program today. From the word independence, when we are talking of freedom, we are talking of independence. And just like we look at freedom literally, when we are talking about financial independence, it means that we are talking about, being free financially. So, and in terms of financial freedom, what we are saying is that at a point where you have a sufficient personal wealth, right, that can take care of you such that you will not need to work actively again, for basic necessities of life, then you are financially independent.
Okay.
And the question is it achievable?
That's what I wanted to ask.
And I want to tell you that it is actually achievable.
In this country or everywhere?
Everywhere. It's a universal principle. It's just that there are keys to it. What do you need to do to be financially independent? And I tell you, there are about 5 keys. I don't know if we'll be able to take all of them on this program today. Otherwise, it might be, we might conclude it in the next program. But like I said, to be financial independence is actually achievable. And there are 5 keys to do that.
So what are the keys?
So in terms of the 5 key number 1 is you need to take a decision to be rich. Just like the choices we make, you actually need to make a choice. Do I want to be rich? Do I want to be financially independent?
How can I make a choice?
And you see, just like about life is about the choices we make, including financial, choices. And my take is that, for example, if you've just started work, right, and you earn about 500,000 naira on a monthly basis, if you don't decide to say that, okay, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, this 500,000 naira I'm earning now, so much percentage I want to save. If my salary goes up maybe in 2 or 3 years time, the same percentage of what I earn, I need to save. That's why I said it's a choice.
Okay, so in the situation where I'm earning 50,000 naira per month, can I still have that kind of dream?
The truth of the matter is that that's why I said it takes a lot of determination.
Okay.
Now, to be able to break yourself from the circles of poverty,
okay,
you need to decide. It does not matter how much you earn. However, if you earn 50,000 naira and you do not decide to save some of it, even if you earn 500 or 5 million naira, you will still not save. So that's why I said it does not matter the amount of salary you earn or how much you earn. It's just a decision, it's a commitment, it's a discipline to say that, out of this 50,000 naira that I earn, I'm going to save maybe so much percentage, maybe 5% or 10%. So it's your personal decision, and that's why I said it's a choice. If you do not make that choice, nobody is going to make it for you.
But is it only for salary earners? Or?
It's not only for salary earners. You are in a business and you earn so much of your profit. You don't need to waste all the profit. You don't need to spend all the profit. Some people, they plow it back into the business. Some people will tell you, sorry, I want to invest, such that I can earn interest. And when you do that, it then means that while you are sleeping, even choice. So it does not matter that you have to be just a salary earner, because if you're in business, you make profit. Your business makes profit, but you want to say, okay, what percentage of these profits do I want to set aside, right? That's why I said it is a choice.
Okay. All right, sir. So we're still talking about the keys.
Okay, about the key, that's key number one.
Okay.
That I said, nobody is going to make that choice for you. It has to be a conscious effort from you to say, I want to break away from the circles of poverty, right? In the next, so it has to be both short term, a medium term, and a long term goal. To say that, okay, as I start work now, as I start this business in the next 10 years, I want that. I do not want to, work actively again, such that even while you are not working actively, some of the savings that you have done, some of the financial independence decision that you have taken when you are starting, will be able to take care of you during this period that you've decided not to work actively again. So that's just pointing about the first key to ensuring that to achieve financial independence. The second one is that you need to plan your finances.
Okay.
And when I say plan your finances, it is often said that you will face to plan. Plan to do what? Plan to fail, right? And in planning your finances, there are various there are various areas in which you can plan your finances. But the first point is to say that in planning your finances, because you have inflow and outflow in terms of your earnings.
Okay.
For the inflow, especially if there is a salary earner, you know what comes in at the end of the month. You don't have a power over that. But for the outflow, you do know how you do have a power over it, right? So that means that before you spend, you need to think carefully to say that, how much am I earning? How much am I spending? Such that at the end of the day, you do not spend more than what you earn. Because if you do that, it then means that you've gone a borrowing somewhere, right? So you really need to plan your finances. I was talking to some group of people the other day, and I was just asking a simple question. Do you ever budget? And in the whole room packed full, there was nobody that could raise up his or her hand. So that means that if you don't budget, that means that you are not planning your finances. You don't plan how to spend what you earn, and ultimately you end up spending everything if care is not taken. So that's in terms of you planning your finances. You really need to plan, and like the choices that you have made, because you are the one that earn the salary, you are the one that get the credit allowed at the end of the month, you are the one that does the business. At the end of the day, you should be the one to say, to plan. You don't spend spontaneously. you don't just spend anyhow, because I mean, look at Lagos traffic. When we wake up to go to work, and when you come back at the end of the day, it's a whole lot of stress on you. So therefore, when you earn, you don't spend the money anyhow. So you need to plan for it.
Okay.
And if you do not plan, I think it's one wrong step towards ensuring that you will not achieve financial independence.
Okay. Okay, then the third one.
Okay, but talking about planning, like I said, in terms of just still going to concluding about the second point.
Okay.
In terms of planning, you have various areas how you can plan. Of course, some people will plan for retirement. Some people even plan for holidays, right?
Okay.
If you do not plan and you just spend anyhow, for example, you know that you are going to travel in December. My take is that by the beginning of January, you are doing what? You are planning. Such that in November, you don't start running helter-skelter to raise money for the trip. Yeah, why it's good that you go on holidays and all that, but you need to really need to plan for it. You want to retire, you are going to retire in 20 years time. You don't start planning some 2 years towards retirement. You start it now. So that's about the only way that at the end of the day you are free from all this and ensure that you are on a right path towards financial independence, is to ensure that you do what? That you plan your finances. So that's point number 2.
Okay, wait, before we go to point number 3, what about the case whereby something unexpected will just come up?
Okay, I'm not going, I will not,
because we are humans, that is so.
I will not go into economics, but in economics we talk of motives of spending money. You have precautionary motives, you have emergency motives.
But when planning, don't you think we need that as well?
No.
If you're planning, because if you tell me to have a budget, okay, fine. I should have a budget, fine. Okay, this is my budget for this month, this is my budget for this year. And something just happens, the normal life, the normal lifestyle that maybe they'll just call you from the village that, this one has happened.
That's what I said. There will be contingency.
Okay.
You need to have a contingency fund.
Okay.
However, while I'm saying plan, you earn 100%.
Okay.
After your maybe 10%, you pay your tithe or you give to charity. Maybe another 20% you pay yourself. I'm still going to that. Okay. But the rest 70% goes into whatever you need to do. The 70% will now be apportioned, according to, okay, this one goes into children education, this one goes into this one goes into that. And in terms of putting pen to paper to say this is how much I really want to spend, it actually depends on you. It depends on your peculiarity to say, oh, this is what I earn, because you do know your expenses. You do know the role that you play in the family in terms of people will come and ask for this and ask for that, so you factor that in. It's not as if you just earn the 100%, right, and you go on a spending spree. So you really need to plan. And once you do, more often than not, that means that you are a very organized person financially, and you're on your path to financial freedom and financial independence ultimately.
So let's move on to that. Third one.
Okay, for the third one, you really need to pay yourself. You need to pay myself. You need to pay yourself.
Pay as a PAY?
Yes. Okay. And invest the windfall. What do I mean by windfall? You earn 100%. You've done your 10% maybe to charity or for tithing, or as a Muslim, you've set aside what you need to set aside out of it. I am saying pay yourself. Don't go ahead and spend the 90% that is remaining. You could decide, maybe 10% or 20% or 30% is what we go into our investment, right? And you now spend the rest. But more often than not, what we do is we spend first before we invest. So it's important that you invest first and spend the remaining. That's when we can say that you are financially prudent and you could be on your way to financial freedom. What we do, as a matter of fact, is when we earn this salary or you earn some money from your business, you pay everybody, but you don't pay yourself. That is why I say it's important that you pay yourself. Okay. You pay everybody. You pay the children's school fees. You pay PHCN for electricity bill. You pay water corporation for water bill, and you keep paying. The truth of the matter is that if you have not first pay yourself in terms of investing some percentage of what you earn, then the likelihood that you will spend everything. There's a Parkinson law in finance. What they say is that whatever you earn, you tend to spend everything and a little bit more, except you have pay yourself. So, and that's usually the case. So if you spend everything that you have earned, what has happened? It then means that there's no surplus at the end of the month. If there's no surplus at the end of the month, that you set aside, for the purpose of investing, because you need to save before you invest, right? If you don't do that, it then means that you are writing, it's a wrong signal to you that you are not, on a way to financial independence.
Okay.
So that's point number 3.
Okay. So let's go to point number 4.
Okay, point number 4. You need to watch your spending habits. You really need to watch your spending habits. Don't say because Mr. A is doing this, I have to do it. You don't have to do it, right? You have to watch, okay, how much do I earn, right? How much do I earn at the end of the month? So, and that will guide your spending. As a matter of fact, in terms of watching your spending, it is often said that in terms of the house you live, the clothes you wear, the food you eat, must be determined by what you earn. If you know that you cannot afford a lunch of more than 1,000 naira, you don't go and spend 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira, for lunch. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the month, when you are calculating it, it comes to something, right? If you don't know in terms of, if you know you cannot afford an iPhone, you don't go get an iPhone. After all, the purpose of a phone is to make sure that you communicate, right?
Communicate, yeah.
If you know you cannot afford a Jeep car, you don't go for it. You go for a car that you know your money, your income can take, right? Because the purpose of a car is to take you from point A to what? To point B. So that's in terms of watching your spending. You really need to watch your spending. Otherwise, if you do not watch your spending, at the end of the day, the money is gone and you are wondering what has happened to me. Nobody will be able to provide answer to that anyway, because that's why I said from point number 1, it's your decision. So while you have made that decision to be financially independent, then you need to watch your spending. You just don't spend anyhow. Like I was talking about budgeting the other time, you need to budget what you need to put on paper, what you want to spend. Some people, if I ask now, some people don't even know how much they spend in a month. They will just know that at a point the money is gone. So it's important to say, yes, it's important to say that for every expenses, no matter how little, no matter how minute, put it down. At the end of the month, it comes to something. So you'll be able to see. Next month, in watching my spending, do I need to cut these expenses, right? Do I need to? So that's watching your expenses. And once you do that, you're on your way to financial freedom. Mind you, I was advocating a 10, 20, 70 percentage, in terms of, how you spend your money. At the end of the day, your 20% savings comes to something, Either you save with the money, the deposit banks, or you put it into an asset management company. At the end of the day, you are earning an interest on that money. And as you grow, I believe in the principle of compounding. Once you have watched your spending, what is left, you grow. At the end of the day, the principle of compounding works so a lot of magic. What your money is in year 1 is not going to be the same thing in year 2, because at the end of the day, what you do is you are adding to it. So what I advise in terms of watching your spending is to say that, if you have decided you are going to do a 20% in terms of savings every month, why don't you put in a standing order? Okay. Put in a standing order at the end of the month. So it then means that you are paying yourself. Like I said in point number 3, once you put in a standing order, it then means that as they pay you your salary, there's a percentage that goes straight into your savings, which ultimately you could decide to do what? To invest. And once you do that, you are on your way to financial freedom. So you need to watch your spending, and it's very important.
All right, so before we go to the final one, we're going to go on a break, but not break now. I want us to quickly I want us to start again from number 1 to 4. Okay. I want you to enlighten them. Number 1, the 5 keys. You said there are 5 keys.
I said there are 5 keys to financial independence.
The first key is?
You need to take a decision to be rich.
The first decision is you have to think about it, that I want to be rich.
Yeah.
Once you are determined,
ultimately it will happen.
It will happen.
Yeah.
Okay, the second one.
The second one, I said you need to plan your finances.
Okay.
Because if you don't plan, the tendency is that attaining financial independence could be a mirage.
Could be a mirage. Okay, then the third one.
And in terms of the third one, I said you need to pay yourself.
You need to pay yourself.
You are saving a certain percentage of what you earn.
So even if you're a businessman,
of course, yes, because you could say in terms of how much I earn, this so much I'm going to set aside to save with a view to invest in ultimately. So you have to do it whether you earn salary or you are in business, because your business is making profit. And if you do not plan, just like a salary earner, you find out that all the income or the profit from the business could be wasted. So
just like most Nigerians are experiencing.
Yes. So you really need to do what you need to you need to pay yourself. Then the rest, you cannot spend the way you like, but it's important that you pay yourself.
All right, and the fourth one.
And in terms of the fourth one, I said you need to watch your spending, because if you do not watch your spending, the tendency is that everything that you earn, right, you spend. And ultimately, that is not a right step in the direction of attaining financial independence at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay, all right. We're talking about financial independence with Pitch Talk this morning. We'll be back after this break. That's the joke of the day. I want you to, I will do it on Pitch Talk. Jokes of the day. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. It's still Pitch Talk with Teresa Adeyemi, and I keep saying it, thank God this Friday. If you're alive, you have to appreciate your life. Don't think about what you're going through. Everybody got their own story to tell. I tell you, I have my own story. So don't think it's always cool with everyone, because everyone is always out there laughing, smiling, and you keep thinking about what is happening to you, and stop comparing yourself from other people. It's not good. It's not a good one. All right, yes, and we're still talking about financial independence, and with me I still have Mr. Alimi in the studio with me. All right, and he is giving us the four. They said there are keys to the financial independence, and now we are talking about the final keys now to financial independence. Okay, sir, so what is the last key, sir?
Okay, but even before I go to the last key, it's important that, because more often than not, when it comes to financial matters, you need to keep impressing it. Okay. And I said the first key is the fact that you need to take a decision to
take a decision. Okay.
You need to take a decision to be financially independent, either in the short term, in the medium term, or in the long term. Then secondly, you need to plan your finances. You just don't spend anyhow. Then I said thirdly, that you need to pay yourself and invest the windfall. And number four, you need to watch your spending habits, because that's going to set you apart from the rest of the people. Then number five, people are quick to say, I remember when after university education, you say, okay, I'm going to work in Shell, or I'm going to work in a bank, and the decision is that once I start that work, I'm going to save, between 20 to 30% of what I earn. Some people have said that several years back, but today, nothing has been done. And the truth of the matter is, if nothing is consciously done, nothing is going to happen. Okay. If there's no venture, there won't be any gain. And the truth of the matter is that in terms of attaining financial independence, you don't need to say, okay, I did not start 15 years ago. Today could be the best time. It is said that the best time to plant an oak tree was 20 years ago, but now is the next best time. So if you say, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I didn't do it, where will I start from? You can start now.
It's not too late to start.
It is not too late
Never
to
too
start.
late.
No age is late to start. Your level of earning is not a factor to say that no, I won't start now. Like I said, you need to start somehow, and the best time to do that is now. In terms of attaining financial independence, you see, it's a lot of depriving yourself of some good things now. We call it delayed gratification, right? What you are supposed to enjoy now, you want to say, okay, because I want to live in the future, I want to attain financial independence in the future. No, I want to go on this spending spree now. I want to save and invest it. And you know, as you are saving and you are investing, you are earning interest. You are sleeping and your money is working for you, right? So at the end of the day, you just find out that financial independence is around the corner. What more often than not, what happens is that if you do not take that decision, at the end of the day, you spend everything now to buy luxuries. In that time when you are supposed to be resting to attain financial independence, you will not be able to get it. However, if you have saved it, every good thing that you want in life at retirement, you can do what? You can get it. Right? So others that do not do it, they will just be looking at you, oh, how did he do it? So I'm saying to our viewers that you have not started 15 years ago, 20 years ago, does not mean that you cannot start now. The decision to be financially independent depends on you. And I say to start, it now is the right time. Thank you.
Okay, all right, sir. I think you've been able to convince me and not to confuse me that financial independence is achievable, it's possible. And I think I'll start working on that now. And I hope the viewers at home too will start working on that. All right, so your final word to the viewers at home, what do you have to say? But let me quickly ask this, sir. I think you are the person that you practice what you preach, right?
Yes, I do.
You practice what you preach.
Do.
Because some people preach, they don't practice it.
No, I do.
But you practice what you preach.
I do.
Because I want to start practicing what you preach now.
I do.
And I think it's not too late for me to start.
No, it is not
Never too late.
It is not too late. Okay, but like I said, it's very important in terms of ensuring that you plan your finances. I mean, on a daily basis, you need to have a piece of paper and a pen and put it down. How much have I spent today? At the end of the month, it adds so much. If at the end of the month you find out that what you have put down on those paper is more than what you earn, it then means, except there is another, income, any opportunity somewhere, it then means that you have, gone a borrowing somewhere. But where that has not happened, you find out that what you have put down at the end of the day is way below what you earn. I think you are on a right path to financial freedom, and I said it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of commitment, and it takes a lot of depriving yourself of maybe for now some good things of life to enjoy financial independence. At the end of the day, especially as you age and you go towards retirement.
Okay, sir. So, what do you have to tell the people at home?
Okay, for the people at home, like just I've told Tessie, it's important that you take that decision today. You don't need to delay it, because procrastination, it could be very, very dangerous. You have to take today, and you have to walk the talk. Not only are you saying, okay, I want to attain financial independence in so much time. These keys that I've spoken about, you need to start practicing them. You need to imbibe them. They are universal in nature. They never fail. So that's just what I have for viewers.
All right, and I hope everybody at home today, no matter what, if you've not started, you can start. It's not too late to start. It's never say it's too late, and I think we all need to start working on our financial independence, because at times that's why you go to some people at times for help. They're going to tell you are not in their budget this month.
Absolutely.
I think those are the kind of people you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Because some people, you go to them and tell them, they'll tell you, I'm sorry, you're not in my budget.
Absolutely.
But next month I'm going to put it in my budget. I think everybody should start living like that, so that, because manna is not as if God will come down from heaven and make you rich. You have to make yourself rich. You have to be determined. It's just like what I said, the first rule is be determined. You have to be determined that, okay, fine, determination is the key. That fine, okay, I'm going to do this. I want to be financially independent. And again, you have to have it at the back of your mind that you have to stop some things you're doing. And you see, when I look at it again, that it's true. If you can put down everything you spend each day on paper, you are going to correct yourself. That's a very good way, and I think I'm going to start with that. All right, it's so good to have you on the program, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tessie. Nice being on this program.
You're still going to come again to tell us more again some other time.
I look forward to seeing that.
All right, that's all on Pitch Talk today. Be good to yourself till I come your way again next week. I'm Teresa Adeyemi. Remember, you can follow me to my social media Andrew Tesserale. Any like Facebook, IG, Twitter. Just do Tesserale. And if you want to be a part of the show, just send a message to Tesserale on Instagram. DM me on Instagram or Facebook, and I tell you I'm going to reply you immediately. I'm going to get back to you. All right, be good to yourself. Don't drink while driving. Don't drive while drinking. And don't ever think. Don't let depression set into your life. Never. If you're depressed, start the fight and fight it. And for those who are fighting depression, keep up the good work. Never ever let depression set into your life. And remember, the greatest peace in life is always minding your own business. Always mind your business. Till I come your way again next week. It's a bye-bye.